Okay, hi guys. So today I thought I would just do like a chill video. I mean, it's a pretty comfy video. Blanket, sweatshirt. I'm not wearing any makeup. And yeah, it's just like a nice fall day. So I thought I'd do something just kind of like relaxed, especially for like the third video in like my transgender like video series. I thought that it would be super fun to just do something kind of laid back. You know what I mean? Especially since all my other videos I'm like always having makeup on, or it's always like a big thing, and I just like wanted it to be more relaxed and chill. So today's video is going to be about like tips and not like, we're not gonna say tricks, but like tips for dating when you are trans. So as I've said in the other few videos, this is the first video that you're watching, as I've said in my other videos, I've been transitioning for about 2.5 years now. That other information about that type of stuff will be in the other videos on my channel, so if you're interested, those will be linked down below. So I have, dated and gone out on dates, and I've had boyfriends and all of that jazz. But there are definitely things that are difficult about it, for sure, and things that a lot of people don't understand, and things that I would like all of you guys to know, whether you are another trans girl that's dating, or you're a trans male that's dating, or you want to transition, or whatever it is. I just feel like this is information that I feel like that I've experienced, and things that I've picked up along the way, and ways that I think, and I would just love to share that. So I definitely would say one thing that is a big problem is that for some reason people think that because you're trans, you are a sex object, that you are a fetish, that you are a fantasy, that you like should be treated a different way than any other woman or any other man, which is so frustrating, because at the end of the day, we're all just people. Just because my body is different than, their body or his body or whoever's body doesn't mean that I'm any less of a person, or I deserve any less than you would give a cis man or a cis woman. I can obviously only speak, like I've said in my other videos, as a perspective of male to female. And one thing I will say is I've never been so like sexualized in my life by men, obviously. Also the way that you portray yourself, and I like to dress a certain way, and I like to present myself a certain way, so men, like to perceive me a certain way, which isn't always necessarily the truth. And they always like to think that for some reason, solely because I have transitioned, that they don't have to treat me with sometimes the same respect. And it's taken me a little bit of time to come to a place where I can sit here and say, I will not take anything less than this. This is what I expect. If you're going to waste my time, do not bother. Those types of things are things that take a long time to realize, especially, when you're first transitioning and you're getting the attention that you want to get, finally portraying yourself the way that you want to portray yourself, and put yourself out there and be perceived the way you want to be perceived. And to get that attention from the gender that you are sexually attracted to is huge. And it, in a way, feels like a huge accomplishment. Don't get me wrong, because I know, I've felt it. But as soon as that starts to kind of fade away, and you realize that the attention you're getting isn't because a person genuinely cares about you, or it's not because a person genuinely, likes your personality. They have this fantasy, or they have this fetish, or they have, this crazy wild dream of being with someone that's trans, or whatever that is. And, some women don't mind that. Don't get me wrong. Some women don't mind it. Me, there's no reason that I should waste my time with that. Every single person is entitled to be treated with the respect that they want, and they are entitled to, be treated with dignity, and not just as an object. Another tip for dating as a trans woman or just a trans person, is I would always say, always be upfront. And when I say that, I mean, you know, be real with the people, and do it in a smart way. Please, oh my god, ew, ugh, I hate my hair right now, ugh. Please do not get into a situation with somebody and, oh my god, ew, like this video if you hate my hair. Just kidding. But please do not get in a situation where you're alone with a person and they don't know your situation, they don't know your history. I'm not saying that you can't date is the gender you feel you are, the gender that you're, you know, portraying yourself as, or the gender that you're identifying as. But what I'm saying is that, you know, don't go on a date with somebody and go over to their house and not tell them what's going on and in a way, quote unquote, mislead them. And the reason I'm putting quotes on that is because that's how they're gonna feel. They're gonna feel like they thought you were something else, and then for you to just drop this bomb on them, which it's here nor there. Some people is gonna think it's a bigger deal than others. It is what it is. For you to drop this quote unquote bomb on them, it could end badly. It can end in violence. It could end in just humiliation. And I'm not saying that you should be humiliated because you're trans, but you just never know what a person can say or what they can do. You never know who's around, if there's somebody else in the home, if there's somebody else in the apartment, who else, you know, they could contact. And at the end of the day, like, your safety is the most important every single time. Every single time, your safety is the most important. And I just want to like stress that so much, that I feel like being upfront is so important. And if you lose somebody when you're upfront, you know, let's say you're chatting on Tinder, or let's say you're chatting on Grindr, or let's say you're chatting on fucking Christian Mingle, or goddamn Facebook, or Instagram, or Snapchat, or let's just like list all the goddamn social medias you guys can be chatting on, you know what I mean? You need to just be upfront and be like, hey, this is the situation, this is what's up. If you're into it, you're into it, and if you're not, you're not. Either you get it or you don't get it. You know what I mean? That's it. If people have questions, don't take it the wrong way. They're just uneducated, and you just have to be willing to answer those questions if those questions come from the right place. They need to come with positive intentions. You know what I mean? And like, not questions out of evil. Does that even make sense? Not questions out of disrespect. It's okay to educate people. And also, if you lose somebody because they're not into it when you tell them right away, then they weren't worth it anyway. What are you gonna do? Waste your time talking and putting yourself out there for somebody that's not even gonna care and is just gonna drop you like that? That's not your job. There's so many more people that would genuinely care and genuinely be interested in getting to know you, and not just, you know, for a fetish, or not just because of whatever. Another thing that I would say is that somebody that is confident in themselves, for sure, because if someone wants to date somebody that's transgender, they need to be confident in themselves and their decision, and their, you know, their ability to take what other people are gonna say. You never know who can clock you. You never know what someone else is gonna think. You never know what else someone's gonna do. And if you want to be in a serious relationship, that person needs to be, you know, like I said, confident enough to introduce you to friends, introduce you to family, introduce you to coworkers, or bring you out in public and go out to dinner with you and go to the mall with you, and, you know, go to the movies, or you want them to come over to your family party, or you want them to come visit you at work, or whatever it is. They need to be confident enough to know that if people do know your situation, that they're not just gonna bounce out on you. That's huge, is that they need to be, you know, loving enough, and they need to be strong enough to take any sort of criticism. You are not a secret. You don't deserve to be a secret. You don't deserve to be the person that they, you know, call up at 10 o'clock at night once it's dark outside and say, hey, you want to come over and watch a movie? Like, you deserve to be the person that they say, hey, you know, my friends are doing this or that, do you want to come with us? Like, that's what you deserve to be. Whether you are starting your transition, whether you have gotten a million surgeries, whether you haven't even started hormones, or whether you've been on hormones for 5 years, it doesn't matter. Just because you're in the beginning of your transition and you're a little bit more clockable doesn't mean that you deserve any less. A person shouldn't be embarrassed of you. That's what I mean when I say that they need to be confident. The fourth thing that I would like to talk about is that you need to be, once you know you got those first 3 things, honey. You got to get the first 3 things. We need the confidence. We need to not embarrass. We need all of them. Okay. Once you get those first 3 things that I mentioned, I would say continuous honesty with that person and letting them in a little bit to understand you, and you know, letting them know how hormones would affect you, how, you know, what surgeries you want to get or whatever it may be, and just really let that person in on your transition and let them know, you know, how you felt, where you would like to be, how you feel. Just really be open with that person about being transgender, because at the end of the day, I'm not saying that you should, you know, your big thing about yourself should be that you're trans. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be like that's your main thing. Like, obviously you have hobbies, you have interests, you have all these things that you are going to be sharing with that person, but that's such like a deep thing that a lot of us hold really close to us. And I think that it's really important that once you know that someone's genuine, you kind of release a little bit and you let them in on those aspects, because it gets that other person to understand you a bit more, and it gets them to know, you know, truly about you and truly about your goals and things that you thrive for and things that you strive for. And it lets them know, you know, kind of what you've been through a little bit. And I think it makes them appreciate it. And it, honestly, at the end of the day, it makes them understand more. And that's the whole point, is because being trans, there's a lot to understand. There's a lot of questions. And if people haven't been around that much in their life, they don't know. They don't know. So it's your job, in my opinion, and these are all just my opinion, by the way, so just don't come for me. These are just my opinions, is that they just need to be educated. And I feel like if they're your partner, it's your job to educate them on you specifically, you know what I mean, in your transition, and just kind of let them in on that aspect. So that is kind of like the video. I just wanted to be open and honest and just kind of put up the next video in the transgender series on my channel, because it's you know, it's real and it's my life and it's things that I've experienced. So I'm just putting out my thoughts and my experiences. And I just wanted to share those 4 things. So the first one was, you know, don't accept anything less. You are not a, you know, sex doll. You are not a fantasy. You are not a fetish. You are a human, and you deserve to be respected as any other cis female or cis male, you know, in the dating world. That you need to be open and honest with people about your situation, and if you lose them because they're not into it, then you would have lost them anyway. And I think being open and honest is so good for safety purposes, for, you know, your emotional health, for that person. I think it's better for everyone if you're just open and honest from the start. I think it's so important. The third is someone that's confident, someone that's strong, someone that's not going to be embarrassed of you and doesn't care what other people think, just because you never know how a situation can go, whether that's, you know, you're starting your transition or you're 5 years into your transition. You deserve someone that's going to stand by you through that. And then the fourth thing is, you know, kind of letting down those walls a little bit and talking to that person and letting them know about your transition, letting them know your goals about your transition, where you want to go, where you've been, and just kind of educate them a little bit, because I think that if they haven't been around trans people, they just need that little bit. So those are kind of the 4 things that I wanted to talk about. It's kind of a short, just comfy video, and I just wanted to touch on those things. And by the way, these are just my thoughts, my opinions. That's it. I want to put it out there. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Sorry, like, I don't know. Yeah, next trans video is actually going to be a story time. And I just wanted to touch on this first and my thoughts and opinions on tips and tricks or my thoughts or whatever you want to say about dating while you're trans, because the next video is going to be a story time about dating when you're trans. So I just wanted to put out my thoughts now before I tell this irresponsible story from 2 years ago. So definitely look forward to that, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, bye.